Okay, my cousin Steve wanted to give you an update on that. I went and saw him yesterday. As you remember before, I said that I couldn't. I finally got to see him, but how I got to see him is kind of remarkable. He was in the hospital in Topeka, and his insurance only covered for so long, so they had to transfer him to a place that would take his insurance and all that, and that happened to be here in this town. And so the place that he's actually at right now is the place that I used to work when I made that story time. I was like 20 something years old, with the cop and the nurse. He's in that nursing home. So I found out that yesterday. And then Chelsea said, "Do you want to go up and see him?" And I said, "Yeah." So we went up there and we saw him. And as far as mental, he is just like he used to be. Talks, he can remember everything and all that. So that's great and wonderful. And also, I was glad to be able to see him because I wanted to tell him that I bought another metal detector. What I didn't tell you guys, that metal detector, that 6000 DIS, 6000 DI Pro SL, the one that I owned years ago, not the one of my dad's. But anyway, I got rid of it and I sold it to him. He's the one that got it. He had it for a couple months. He did use it, and it was in a case and everything. I gave him everything, all the spare parts and all that. And he left it in his truck and went into a gas station to use the bathroom or something. When he came back out, somebody had taken it. I mean, when you leave a suitcase in the back of your truck, you're asking for trouble. It should have at least been in the truck or maybe left at home. So anyway, it was gone. I always thought it was going to be like in the family, and no. So that metal detector was gone. But I got to tell him that I actually went and bought one. And they said, well, if there's any other ones, see how much they cost because he'd be interested in it. But there's no way he could use it. I was shocked by the way. Oh, I got to tell him about the guitars and all that stuff too. I was trying to find things to talk to him about. He plays guitar too. Um, anyway, his condition though, I couldn't stop thinking about it. It's freaky. I mean, because he is in worse condition than he was at that wedding reception that I went for my sister, my older sister. Anyway, his arms and his legs, how do I explain it, are like that, smaller than that, because I got some meat on my bone. But you see how your arm gets bigger like this? And then, of course, right here, his whole arm is the same roundness. And his legs are too. So there's like nothing on there. And he can't walk because his feet hurt. And it wasn't until like hours later I kept thinking about it. Why are they hurting? I know he said they were swollen and all that, but I believe what's going on is that there's no muscle on his feet. So he's actually walking on his bones, just skin, and that's gonna hurt. Unfortunately, he also got a bed sore all the way down his leg on one side. They didn't rotate him properly in that hospital in Topeka. So now they're trying to fix that. And so I felt so bad for him. He wants to get up. He wants to start his therapy, and he's supposed to already start it. It's like his second week and still hasn't started it. So the first week, no, and the second week, no. And he can't even be in his wheelchair. He got a power wheelchair thing, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? It's got like a 12-volt battery, but he has to take tests in order to even do that. So he's waiting for that, and that was supposed to be like started on Monday, and we saw him yesterday, and so it still hadn't happened. He's very frustrated. He wants to go. He wants to go home. He wants to get better. Um, it was hard to come up with things to say too because I was just like, what do you say? You don't want to say too many good things because he's hurting. He was in pain. You could tell he was, but he was trying to play it off. But at times he got kind of irritated because I could tell that, he was in pain. So I'm glad I got to see him, but it's just I can't get that out of my mind. I have never seen I've never seen that before. I mean, even when I was in the nursing home before, they had, they might have been paralyzed and stuff like that. We rotate them, but I'd never seen an actual person's arms and legs. They just didn't have that. Nobody was in that condition. But I asked him, like, can that be fixed? I had a little muscle wasting, and I, was able to repair it and all that. And he said he thought that they said he could, but I don't know. So I don't know either. Anyway, if you have any ideas of what I could talk to him about, because, like, he was looking for a TV show that was about hunting and stuff like that. So I was just trying to find something, and that's unusual. I usually do, but it's a different situation. So anyway, I'm glad he's alive, and he told me at one point he actually wished that he was dead. And he thought they actually did die. Then he said at a certain point, I'm sure it's when he discovered how bad his body was. That's when he decided he didn't want to live no more. But now he wants to live now, so that period's gone. But I love him very much. I even named my son after him, and I'm glad I got to see him. But anyway, I wanted to give you an update on that, and wow, what a strange coincidence of him coming here to this town, to the place I used to work. All right. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you have any ideas of what can you talk about, I appreciate it. You guys have a good one. God bless.